I now request Manjusha, Madam Manjusha Telong. Madam is from MNS Credit Group Corporation, and this is a debt recovery organization, internationally known. Uh, so she will be briefing us on the debt recovery, how the procedure is helpful to the exporters. Madam, please start your PPT. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soma ma'am. Can you please confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Oh, great. So, very good afternoon, everyone. So, as we all know and understand, like apart from selling any products and services in the market, the main concern and stress for any businessman is to get paid timely. So after any product is sold in the market, there's a constant pressure on you to, if the money will be back or not, if the buyer will pay to me or not, isn't it? So this, I think most of us might be facing as of now. So, and I'm really sure that after listening Mr. Amlendu, sir, half of your stress must have already gone, as now you are very much aware that there is someone who is taking care of credit risk, and particularly for exporters, this stress and this pressure will constantly be there till you get back your money from the foreign buyers, because till the time you get back the money from the buyers, there will be a constant pressure from RBI and from all your bankers and all, to get the money back from the buyer. But need not to worry, as I'm pretty sure after this session your this worry will also be gone, as we will be discussing about debt recoveries. So precisely how a recovery agencies can help you in getting back your rightful money which is stuck in the international market in the most professional manner. So today I'm here to present about the credit management solutions. So in my presentation, I'll be covering how a debt collection agencies can assist in recovering the stuck money in the international market, international collection methods and treatments, what are the risks involved in the international market, and a little brief about our services of MNS Credit Management Group. So as we all know, nowadays market is full of challenges and risks. And when it comes to international market, risk and challenges involved are beyond imagination. Though on one hand, with various government schemes and export promotional programs, exports are increasing, but overseas debts are also increasing manifold. So as we all know, all the countries have their own governing laws, regulations, different cultures and languages, which makes this task even more complex. So there will be a point when amount you owe is too large for you to manage on your own. So one of the reasons to engage a reliable debt collection firm is to delegate this aspect to the professionals. And there will also be the legal aspects which can be tricky if you don't know the compliance laws of that country. So thus there lies a need of an agency who is well versed with each and every detail of the country, about their laws, about the currency situation and everything about that country. So we can say that collection of a debt from international market is the most specialized craft. So the long drawn debt collection process that many a times ends in courtroom, and thus we need to find an amicable solution in between. So the outsource of tricky debt collection to a reputed DCA, that is debt collection NG, is the need of the hour. So here are a few reasons which really explains that why we should hire a debt collection agency, or to put it in other words, what all the factors which make a debt collection agency so efficient in recovering the debt. So first, as you can see, is their local presence. So a local just a second. Yeah. So the local reach and presence of a debt collection agency in the country of debtor not only makes the recovery easy, but makes the procedure faster too. And the other is geographical barrier. So the geographical barrier, like the language, time difference makes recovery very, very difficult. But if a local collection agency is involved for this task, then it makes things easier. And as you know, they are well versed with the local language of that country and even having a legal background, so which is the icing on the cake. Next is local law barrier. So laws and legal proceedings are significantly different across the globe. So any agency with the knowledge of local legal system can turn the game. And then next, of course, is time and money. So if you're involving any debt collection agency to recover your bad debts, so all the process will be taken care by the collection agency. So in this way, your staff can focus more on core activities to grow your business, so which saves time and money. And next is, of course, the expert advice. So the collection agencies knows business to business issues. So as with their expert advice, they can always advise you at appropriate time when to negotiate with the buyers or when to go legal against them. So here are a few risks involved in international market. I think Amlendu sir has already explained all the risk involved in international market so well. So I'm just going to explain where what all risk a debt collection agency can assist you with, and where all will not be able to help. So the first risk is commercial or credit risk. So these are the risks where simply a buyer is not paying you due to any reason. So in this, yes, very well, a debt collection agency can assist you. Other risk involved is risk of fraud. So of course, while doing international business, you have to be very vigilant while dealing with any buyers. So it is always very important to call a credit report before you are dealing with any company. So if the fraud has happened, most of the time till we get the case in our hand, most of the buyers go underground, and it's very difficult to trace them out. So in such situation, debt collection agency might not be able to help you out. The other one is currency exchange risk. So always, as we see in the international market, the currency fluctuations are there. So in many countries, we have successfully assessed helped the exporters in recovering the debt. Currency countries like Nigeria and all, we could successfully recover the amount. But there are few countries like Lebanon where the situation is out of our control, and you might not get any help from any DCA. And the other risk involved is cyber risk. As you know, I mean, this kind of risk is prevalent in the market nowadays. So you have to be very, very careful while using any platform and while doing any transaction. So in this kind of risk, though we could successfully help few exporters in recovering the amount, but 100% recovery is not possible for sure in such kind of where such kind of scene is involved. And then there are a few political risk, operating risk, and risk arising out of foreign laws. Here you can very well get assistance from a DCA. So here are a few tips with which you can reduce the risk a bit. Like as in the beginning, Soma ma'am has very well explained about the certificate of origin. So it is always advisable to have certificate of origin. Then change in payment and terms. If at any point of time you are getting a request from the buyers to change the terms and conditions or the time, anything, then you have to think twice whether we should really change it or not. And if at all you're deciding to change the terms, you have to very well get it documented. So later on, there should not be any problem. Then next is clear payment terms. Of course, in all the agreements, most of the times we keep on getting cases where exporter says that no, we did not get any purchase order, we did not sign any agreement, it was just verbal, we trusted them. So no, in international market you cannot go like this. So of course, you have to sign up an agreement, clear agreement with the buyers with all the terms and conditions. Payment terms should specifically mention in the agreement. And then penalty clause should always be there in the agreement. One clause, try to put one clause for the penalties. Like if any delayed amount, this payment is there, then what will be the penalties you will be imposing on them. Next is ensure timely delivery. Of course, you have to take some cushion period in your hand so that the goods can be supplied timely to the buyer. So later on, there should not be any problem, because when we'll try to catch the buyer if the amount is stuck, first thing they'll come up with that I did not get the timely delivery, so my ultimate, I could not sell it in the market. So these are the very common excuse we keep on getting. So try to ensure it. Next is you can try to ensure relation between the buyer and consignees. Most of the cases, buyer request exporters to deliver the consignment to some third party. So before you do that, ensure the relation between both the parties. And then of course proper documentation for future legal support. So whenever we are dealing with any international buyer, please get all the documents properly. Each and everything should be documented. And of course the test reports before sending any consignment to the buyer. Please try to get test done through a reliable third party like SGS and Intertech. We have many labs from where you can get the test done. So if you talk about the recovery, there are only always two kind of recoveries. I mean, we can recover the amount in two ways. Either we can do it in an amicable manner. If amicable attempts gets failed, then we move on to the legal remedies. So these are a few techniques like how do we recover the amount amicably. Amicable settlement means out of court settlement where you are not filing any case against any buyer. So during amicable settlement process, first, an initial investigation is conducted on the defaulting customers like credit check, litigation search by preparing a credit report, and then follow-ups get started by telecom, emails, face-to-face meetings wherever it is possible. And in case the debtors responds positively, then we attempt to get a proposal from them, which we forward to the clients for the consideration. And in case debtor does not respond positively, then we issue legal notice. So while doing recovery in an amicable way, we try to bring parties to the negotiation table. We try to identify the problem, clarify the issues, then we develop the options for settlement like MOUs, settlement letters are prepared and signed, and then we monitor it till it gets executed. And then of course, if amicable settlement attempts gets failed, then the ultimate remedy to move ahead with the case is to proceed through legally. So of course, if the debtor with the malified intention are not interested in amicable settlement, then this is the only option left out with us. So in such situation, we specially evaluate whether the litigation would be worthwhile from cost, time, and from the prospectus of recovery point of view. And accordingly, suggestions are given to the exporters for the legal actions. And with the consent of clients, we file a legal case against the buyers. If exporters agrees to proceed legally, then only we file the case. So if in case, debtor goes into liquidation or if any insolvency is there with the buyer, then, I mean, you cannot do much in that case. You just only have to file your claim with the liquidators, appointed liquidators. If the company is into reorganization or restructuring, then you'll have to file your claim with the appointed administrator, which is appointed by the court. And however, if we have arbitration clause in your agreement, then this is comparatively a cheaper, we consider it cheaper remedy in terms of legal. Then in such situation, an arbitrator is appointed with the mutual consent of both the parties, and the arbitrator's decision will be the binding decision in case of any dispute. And then the civil court, civil suits. If arbitration clause is not there in your agreement, then we can file with the go ahead with the civil suits in that country. And then of course, one thing you have to keep in mind whenever we are going to file any case against any buyer in the country, counter claims are definitely going to arise. No matter how much the buyer might have acknowledged the liability, but if we'll file a legal case against them, they'll come up with several counter claims. So we will have to defend it in the court if they'll come up with the counter claims, and it might be a costly affair. So before filing a legal suit, before moving ahead with the litigation, always try to get the settlement done. So this is just a small suggestion from our side. And these are few issues we face while collecting the debt. Like first, as mentioned in my slide, delay in receiving case from the exporters. So generally we receive cases from the exporters very late due to various reasons. Like they at times, the exporters do not recognize the malified intention of the defaulters. They always remain hopeful based on the false assurances being given by the buyers, or at times exporters do not want to involve any third party as in the view of future business prospects. But by the time we receive the case, most of the debtors go underground or remain untraceable, or their financial condition gets deteriorated. So longer an amount remains unpaid, the lower is the possibility that it will be collected. So it is always advisable that once the buyer has overshooted your credit terms, try to explore options and try to give it to some DCA as soon as possible. And then the other issue which we face is the delayed consent from the exporters on available proposals received from the buyer. So when we receive a case, immediately the team starts amicable settlement attempts. So with the rigorous follow-ups and with the constant pressure, finally buyers agrees to pay the amount, but at times they do not agree on the full amount. They even say that we want to pay, but we will pay in installments, or they give some proposal for some lesser amount due to some issues, or some quality issues, delayed shipment. There are many reasons they come up with. So in such a scenario, we always try to improve the terms of settlement in favor of client to the maximum. And once we are fully satisfied that the recovery of dues would be possible only if the debtor's proposal is accepted by the buyer, we suggest accordingly for the necessary consent and approval. But many times the clients do not give their consent to move ahead. So in such kind of situations, many times there are no recovery, and we tend to close the case. And the next constraint which we face is no consent on litigation from the exporter. So we suggest litigation to the exporters only where we feel the chances of recovery are bright. But at times we do not get the consent. So when a DCA is advising you to go ahead with the litigation, please try to discuss in length with them, try to check the probabilities, and then only take the decision. And then hiding of information. Yes, this is the most important point. As many times, clients do not reveal full information to us at the time of case assignment, which hampers our recovery process. So you have to understand, like a DCA is like a doctors for bad debts. So when you are visiting any doctor, we always tend to give all the details to the doctors. So same applies here, same rule applies here. So we always expect that you should give full details to us so that we can strategize our recovery efforts accordingly. And the last is interference by the exporters in debt collection process. So at times the exporter starts interacting with the buyers directly and skips the DCAs who are involved in these cases. So which results in diluting the pressure which a DCA is trying to build. So when a case is assigned to any DCA, try to not to interact with the buyer directly. Or even if you want to interact, you can inform your DCA or debt collection agency accordingly. And these are few tips, few important things to remember. That first, as we have mentioned, noting and protesting of bill of exchange. This is a very important document. Then the contract terms should be clearly mentioned in the agreement. We should always try to ship the goods with advance or part advance contracts or on the letter of credit terms. Bill of lading should not be surrendered unless there is a surety of payment. And then exporters should keep adequate margins of time in supply after checking from the shipping agencies to avoid adverse consequences in delays of shipments. Now I would like to introduce our company, MNS Credit Management Group, who can assist you with all these services which I have just explained in the most professional manner. So MNS Credit Management Group is one of the prominent international debt collection firm for India since 1996. So MNS Group offers boutique service in commercial debt recovery and business information reports and legal consultation at global level. We are headquartered at New Delhi, And we have almost 10 branches in all major cities in India, and we have 2 international setups in Vietnam, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. So we have a team of attorneys and chartered accountants, management graduates, financial professionals with over 30 years of work experience. We have a multilingual collection professionals who are fluent in different languages like Chinese, Vietnamese, Arabic, Urdu, Korean, Thai, and these are the main part of international claim and recovery teams. And we are, of course, empaneled with leading credit insurers, transactional banks, financial institutions, many multinational companies worldwide. So these are 2 verticals where we are providing our services. The first is credit management services. So under this, we have debt management service, first party collection service, then we have company formation services in India, and then legal advisory services. And in business information services, as you can see, we provide business information reports, authentication and verification services, claim investigation reports, and due diligence. So we are in association with TCM Group. So TCM Group is a group of collection agencies and law firms world over. So being a part of TCM Group, we are the shareholders of TCM Group basically. So being a part of TCM Group, we have our approach in around 150 plus countries. So in each country, in around 150 plus countries, we have our associate offices, and with the help of them only, we provide debt collections worldwide. So in 2004, TCM Group inducted and enlisted MNS as one of their certified debt collection agencies, and yes, we are the shareholders of them. So this is a graphical representation of our collection process. So when we get any new file, we first prepare business information reports for the defaulters. We try and verify the address and present status of the debtor. We even check its financial status, and of course about their contact details and coordinates. And then we start our follow-ups by telecom, emails, face-to-face meetings wherever it is possible. If the debtors responds positively, we try to obtain a proposal in writing and we forward it to the client for their approvals. If it is approved, we try to execute it. But if the proposal is not approved, we try to negotiate and try to obtain a better payment plan from them. But if debtor does not respond positively, then we intensify our recovery efforts, our pressure tactic on the debtor by sending legal notices and warning letters. But our approach is always to settle the debt amicably, because the situation nowadays, as you all understand, is still not very smooth and convenient globally. So we all are aware how tedious and time-taking litigation is. So we try to bring the parties together on a negotiation table and get the debts settled. But in case that they does not come up with any settlement proposal, then we explore legal options. So these are few broad terms of our agreement. So we use the best efforts to collect a delinquent amount in a most ethical and legal manner. So most of the time, you know, exporters or clients think that we being a debt collection agency, we might be having some bouncers or something. So no, we are not such kind of collectors. We do it in a most professional manner. And then no legal proceedings are initiated without client's consent. All the payments generally collected through banking channels in the favor of client only. Then without obtaining client's prior written consent, MNS has no authority to bind client for any particular course of action or to compromise on the amount. So, and we are entitled for our fee as and when clients receive any payment from the debtor in part, full, or in installments after assigning the claims to MNS. That means we work on no collection, no fee basis. So we generally demand principal amount from the debtor along with interest and cost. And then we take up the case initially for 6 months. We try to attempt amicable settlements for 6 months. If the things goes in a positive way, then we might take even a longer and might continue with the recovery efforts even after 6 months. And then when you are dealing with the MNS, it's a win-win situation for you. So let's see how it is a win-win situation for you. So as you can see, we do not collect any part of outstanding debt. If we are not successful in collecting debt, you need not to pay anything to us. So as I just told, we work on no collection, no fee. And then while dealing with MNS, it's like a one-stop solution to cross-border and cross-jurisdictions debt collection process. We use most efficient and effective debt collection process, and we give very fast results, and we keep parties well informed about the status and all. This is a bit about our other service, which is business information service. So as I told you in the beginning, we are also efficient in providing business information services, and we have a database covering almost 300 millions of Indian and overseas companies in-house and through our excellent global network associates for decades. We give excellent quality reports. Our reports are undoubtedly very cost effective in global market, and it gives a clear picture about the subject company wherever they are located. If possible, we provide financials also. And when you are asking for MNS reports, you have be assured that we will give you the most accurate and most reliable information. So these are few associations we are associated with, like TCM Group. I just explained you about this. Then we are associated with FENCA, ICTF, BIA for reports, PhD, Chamber of Commerce, ALQ, CCI, FIO. And these are our contact details. So as and when you need our services, yes, these contact details are there. So anytime you can approach us. So this is all from my side. Over to you, Ms. Soma.
Thank you, ma'am. Maybe if you can just come out of the presentation mode. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. It was a very brief and crisp presentation. Thank you so much. We may have questions now. So I request the participants to raise your hands. We'll take the questions from the raise of hands and then we'll go to the chat questions. Okay, Soumya madam, I will unmute you. You may ask your question.
Yeah, hello Manjusha ma'am. Ma'am, is it a government-backed agency?
No, ma'am. It's a private company.
Okay. And is it advisable if we have arbitration clause in our payment terms, and if a buyer goes defaulter, then can we approach you even if we have arbitration clause in our contract?
Yes, of course, ma'am. We can definitely assist as we have our own legal team. We have legal, offices around the globe. So if you are, stuck with any legal process and all, anytime you can approach us and we can definitely assist you with, and at least we can advise you how to proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mohammed Rizwan. Yes, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
So, ma'am, my question is, if my export is insured, as I get it insured from ECGC, then why would I need a debt recovery agency?
Sorry, sir, you are not audible. I could not hear you properly.
Can you just repeat?
My question is now, if my export is insured by ECGC, so then why would I need a debt recovery agency? If my buyer does not pay me, then I am insured by ECGC.
That's a very interesting question, sir.
Yes.
It's a very interesting question. So, I mean, even if you have a cover from ECGC, so ECGC is, of course, covering the risk. And if the debtor is not paying you, if the buyer is not paying you, they will definitely give you your claim. But you will always have to get your currency back from the foreign buyers. So it is always mandatory. So RBI regulations will always be there on you. So it is always important to get back the money from the buyer. So that's why you will need our assistance, our specialized service to get the money back. I think Mr. Amlendu will also be able to add.
Yeah, I'll just add to it what Manjusha madam said. See, it's what you said is correct. If you are having ECGC, why you need a debt recovery agent? But yes, if there is a default, unless and until it is an insolvency where there is no chance of recovery, So whenever there is any default other than insolvency, it is mandatory for you to enter into a contract with any of the DCA. That is one of our conditions before we go ahead with your claim. Because we don't say that we are not going to pay you the claim. You just have to enter into an agreement, because we have to bring that money back. That is our money that is stuck there. So we have to get that money back. And for getting that money back, yes, you have to enter it. It's a DCA agreement with any of the debt collecting agencies. That's your choice. But you have to go into it. Without that, yes, I would say that even claim processing will be a bit difficult. Yes, if it's an insolvency, even we don't say, and even none of the DCAs will say that we can take up your case.
Mr. Rizwan, I think your question is answered.
Yeah, one more question from my side.
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to know about this quality issue. When you say it is only the part which is not covered by ECGC is the quality issue.
Sir,
So
it's
does
not
it
the
get-
no, sir, it's not only the quality issue, it's a dispute. See, dispute can have any ways. It could be, say, any dispute, and it quality is one of those things. So if you feel that your quality is good, and you have to just prove it, no, buyer is just making an excuse for not making the payment. As Manjusha madam just now said during her presentation, that there are certain agencies with
Yeah,
whom
suppose
you can get it.
Suppose I get it certified through a third party agency. Okay.
Yeah, you can get.
Still
See,
the buyer is resisting payment. So in that case,
see,
how can
so it depends at what stage has buyer registered the payment. Suppose you have made the you have shipped the goods on a payment terms of DA 30 days, means that after 30 days you will be getting the payment. After 30 days you don't get the payment. So, and the buyer says that no, there is some quality issues on the 30th day. On 30th day, the buyer says that there is some quality issue. So obviously, see, it is just a excuse that they're trying to make for not making the payment. Because had there been a quality issue, it would have been on the very first day. It cannot come on the last day of the due date. So yes, those are things which we take into consideration. But in case if there is anything, yes, the onus lies on you to prove it. And as Manjusha madam said, that you can enter into an agreement with third party independent agencies. And yes, your agreement has to be strong. That yes, if it is mentioned there that if a third party agency certifies the goods to be good, both the parties have to agree to it that it's good.
Okay. My last question is from Manjusha madam. Generally, how much time it takes for an arbitration or a civil suit, international civil?
Sir, it depends on case to case. I mean, there is no, set rule for timelines. It all depends on case to case. We cannot foretell the time limit on this.
Okay, madam.
How complicated the case is and all. So it depends.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Debrutta, sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a question to Manjusha ma'am. The thing is, how do you charge? I know you have a policy that no recovery, no fees, but again, if there any certain cap on invoice value case, after certain amount we can take the all these things. How do you charge?
Yeah, so I think we are getting this question in chat box also. So of course, yes, we charge on contingency fee basis only, no recovery, no fee, and it ranges from 20% to 25%, and depends on the country from which we need to get the amount.
Okay, irrespective of any amount of invoice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because we are a very new exporter, so our invoice value might be very less, in comparison to other big companies.
Yes, so there is no capping for the invoice. We can take any amount of case, and contingency fee will range between 20 to 25%.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, thank you. Any more questions? You may please raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Okay. There are no raise of hands. I'll just go through the questions, ma'am and sir. So pertaining to your subject, you may respond to them. Is that okay, ma'am? Manjusha madam, Amlendu sir?
Yeah, ma'am, I think there's one Kiran who has raised her hand.
Mr. Kiran, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, Kiran here.
Good evening, sir. Tell me.
Sir, my question is to sir. Sir, this
Yep.
policy is annual based or any of the particular transaction means a transaction to transactions or how it is?
So it depends. If you take a whole turnover policy, that's a 1 year policy. However, for if you just want to go for one particular shipment, then that is only for the contract value. Other than those, all the policies are for 1 year value.
Okay, but because we are exporting to around 2 to 3 countries.
Yeah, you can, sir, you can export. See, our policies, as I said, we have a country underwriting, and you can just export to any countries. We don't have any bans on any of the countries, except Pakistan, where we cover only pharmaceutical goods.
Okay.
So you can export to any countries, but yes, if you want to cover your entire shipments, yes, then you have to go for that. But if you want to cover only one particular shipment or single shipment or 2 shipments, then yes, for that particular shipment, it will be only till the contract value. I mean, suppose you have a purchase order. The purchase order will be having everything, the shipment date and by what date you will get the payment. So that policy will be valid only till that period. Otherwise, you can take a whole turnover policy and then you can cover all your risk.
Okay, it is means as good as a general insurance for the whole year.
No. General insurance, what happens is you pay the premium upfront.
Hmm.
For us, it depends on the type of the policy. Suppose you take a declaration-based policy. So in that, as and when you do the shipment, you pay as the premium. If you don't do any shipment, you don't pay as the premium.
Okay, means it is a case-to-case basis.
Yes. But the policy will be valid for 1 year.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Debrata. Yes, sir. Please ask your question.
Yeah, Manjusa ma'am, I have one more question. I just wanted to know at what time or what indicative time to approach you. I mean, is there any indicative thing? Say, okay, this is the time to approach you when I'm transacting any buyer.
Sir, it is always advisable as soon your credit period which you have given to the buyer gets over. If they are not paying repeatedly, they are making assurances, then it is always advisable to approach any DCA as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, yes, Mr. Swaroop, please unmute yourself.
Is it required for us to hire a DC as soon as we enter into a contract with a buyer, or is it after the deadline is crossed?
Sir, of course, after the deadline gets crossed, because till that time there is a possibility that you'll get the amount. So of course, when you are entering into any contract with DC, you'll have to pay the charges. So
No, I mean, my question is this question raised because we have to take insurance, right, before we sending our products. So to have the insurance, we need to approach DC. I mean, those are interlinked, right? So that is where this question is raising.
So basically, I think Lendu sir can also answer this. But
Yeah.
I mean, sir, over to you.
Yeah. No, sir, it's not that if you are taking a policy, you need to go to a DCA.
Okay.
But yes, if there is any payment problem that comes up, and as I said, it should not be because of insolvency, because insolvency means that the company doesn't exist anymore. So
Yes.
other than insolvency, yes, you need to approach the DC, but yes, only when there is a payment problem. For taking a policy, no, we don't have any mandatory conditions that you have to enter into an agreement. Well, in that case, then whatever the payments that you are going to get on time, for that also you will have to pay them.
Yeah.
So it's better once, but yes, your question is very valid that yes, when should we enter? Yes, that is the time whenever the payment has become due, just enter into a contract with. See, if you are our policy holder, we will also force you to just go into a contract with them, because our policy clearly says that the claim is not dependent upon DCA recoveries. We'll pay you the claim if the claim is payable. Then suppose we say that yes, all your documentation, everything is in order, So when you report a default to us, that no, I have not received this payment, even though my payment date is over, we will immediately ask you to enter into a DCA agreement. So the moment you enter into a DCA agreement, the DCA starts their work, and our work is going on simultaneously. Maybe that within a month, I pay you the claim, and DCA gets a recovery after 6 months. So once they get the recovery, you will have to repay to us in the same proportion in which we have paid you the claim. That's all.
Okay. Okay. So in a nutshell, if during the voyage or something, if the consignment got any accident or something, then DC is not required. But after the buyer receiving all the goods, and even after that the payment is not in time, then DC comes into picture. That is what you're trying to
Yes,
say.
yes. See, in between, as I said, that during transit, if anything happens to your goods, then for that you have a marine insurance.
Yes.
Because the goods has not reached the buyer. So DCA will not come into scene there, neither ECGC will come, because that is covered by the marine insurance.
Marine insurance, yes.
We come into scene the moment you have delivered the goods or moment the goods have reached the buyer's country. But DCA comes when you have the payment problem is coming up and the due date is over and you are not getting the payment. Yes, from that time DCAs are there. But yes, these days means like even Manjusha madam said that they have different verticals too. So yes, you can always take a buyer assessment report from them, or you can take other support from them. But yes, for ECGC point of view, yes, DCAs come at the time of non-payment by the buyer.
Okay, sir, clear. Thank you so much. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kiran, please unmute yourself.
Madam, my question is to Manjusha madam.
Yes, sir.
Madam, actually, is there any time limit? See, now the due date is over. We have followed up the payment for a month or 2 months or 6 months. So later, after 6 months or 1 year, if we approach you, is it okay, or any time limit is there to approach the thing?
So there is no time limit basically. So as I told you, you need to approach a DCA as soon as possible. Once the payment credit limit gets over, you'll get to know about their intentions. So at times buyers repeatedly keep on making assurances. So just try to fix up a deadline for yourself that I'll try to attempt for another 1 month or so, and then immediately you can approach a DCA, because we need to understand if any a transaction, if the buyer has taken the goods, or if there is a malified intention, they will go underground basically. So then it becomes very difficult to trace the debtors, so that's why it is always important to connect with some DCA as soon as possible, as soon your credit limit gets over.